I have a question. Someone brought it up in the chat. You know the story with your grandmother, the
Yes.
doctor, like she was a nurse or something? Was that story true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That story is 100% true. She wasn't a nurse. She was a nurse's aide. Like she basically would go to old people's houses and like wipe their butts and cook them meals and stuff like that.
I'm glad that story's true. I like
That
it that
story
way.
is completely true. I remember that part vividly in my life because that was the worst constipation I've ever been in my life because it lasted like a week and a half. Because I was scared to put stuff up my butt at the time.
Say that again.
I was afraid of putting stuff up my butt at the time because I never had an enema. Well, not an enema. Like I've had like a at that point I had only time things went up my butt was like at a doctor's office. Like I had anal piluses, and I had to have like stuff shot up my butt to like take X-rays from the inside of my bowels.
Yeah,
but like,
is it pilus? I'm trying to remember what that polyps.
Polyps, polyps, yeah.
Okay.
And so I can't say I've never had stuff in my butt, but like stuff going in my butt, I was uncool with.
Oh, you got to come around, Wings.
Yeah,
you might be missing.
So something. I was afraid of enemas. So like I just dealt with being constipated, hoping that I would eventually pass it, and it just never happened. So like I did, I'm kind of like retelling the same story like Woody does, but we had an enema in the house, but it was out of date. Like it was completely out of date.
Okay.
And I thought it's designed to loosen up shit. Like even if it's out of date, it'll probably still do its job. I was wrong. It doesn't do its job.
Yeah. Really?
It doesn't.
So an old enema doesn't do enema stuff anymore.
No, it doesn't break down poo. Because I thought all I had to do was rehydrate the poo and it would be like good. But no, poo gets really hard like clay, like dry clay that's been sitting in the sun.
Mostly.
And
I got another one.
Yeah.
You know the cat story where
the
young Wings, I'm going to call you 7 years old, put a cat under a bucket and it died?
That's true too.
Is that story true?
Yes.
Oh, it was a kitten too, right?
And I didn't realize it till like probably 6 years later. And like because we never moved that bucket again forever. Because like I was living with my grandfather at the time, and like he was kind of like a pack rat. And like there was like 5-gallon buckets everywhere, and like it was just like I put the kitten under the bucket, and it just never got moved again. Like I forgot completely about that cat.
Do you drink alcohol at all?
No. I drink mainly water now, and like every now and then I'll have sweet tea.
So there was a drinking episode where we thought you were going deep on some sort of flavored vodka, or
it was red vodka, and I poured all the vodka out and filled it up with fruit punch.
So, but how did that play? Had you been planning that for days? Was it a last? I
planned it for a week because like I did the drinking show. This is the second drinking show. I did the first one. I had like strawberry peppermint peppermint schnapps.
Okay.
And that one was legitimate, but I didn't drink a whole lot. But
okay.
The second one, I was like, I don't really want to drink, so I'm just going to play along. I follow that. So like I was just going to play the role. So like
you did. You know what? You fooled me. Yeah. And I have this thing about. I feel like I'm trying to use a word not than liar, but like when someone lies, oftentimes they think they are the tricky one. Like, look at this, I'm fooling people, they're buying it, etc. But it's actually the guy being lied to that chooses to allow it to happen. He sees through this. He knows what the scoop is. The liar is the one getting played. The person getting lied to is the one that's just allowing it all to play out. If I tell you, like, dude, I was at the gas station, there were 4 guys there, I was gonna fuck them up. And you just allow me to tell that dumbass story, knowing that I would not beat 4 guys up, I might think I'm fooling you. But in reality, you're fooling me by pretending to believe it. With this drinking thing, you fooled me. I didn't know for a long time until you told us that you took a nap during that show. We were like, you were going hard.
I grew up
on
with
that
a lot
fruit
of
punch.
drunks.
Uh-huh.
And like I basically mimicked what I've seen like all the drunks in my life do. And that's the reason I didn't want to drink, because like my father's an alcoholic, Brooke was an alcoholic, my grandfather was an alcoholic, my great grandfather was an alcoholic. It runs in my fucking blood, and I'm like, I don't want to risk this.
They all want me to bring up the Korea thing. What inspired that tale? Just trying to be entertaining on the podcast, I guess.
The Korea tale. At that point in my career, like when I first told the story, it was on a dual commentary with Kyle. And I remember the map. It was a dual commentary. We're on Skid Row. And at that point, I didn't think YouTube would go anywhere. And I was just trying to be more interesting than I was. Because like at that point, I was just a fat guy that played video games and worked too damn much. That was what my life was. Because I was just coming out of mech class, and all I did in mech class was work 12 hours a day, come home, play Call of Duty. That was my life. I didn't have girlfriends, didn't have, the days off I did have off, I went fishing. It's like, it was just something that I didn't ever think would come back to bite me in the ass, because I lied a lot during my youth. Because you got to understand, when I got into this game, I was 23. Right? I was a young man. I was a young man. I was inexperienced at life. Whereas now I'm 33.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Yeah, people change a ton in those years.
Like, I'm right around now where you started YouTube.
Right. Almost. I think it was 36, but...
Yeah, but like...
Roughly.
Would you say 23-year-old Woody and 36-year-old Woody are two completely different people?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, people don't let you grow older. It's like people don't let you like change your mind. Like one thing I changed my mind on was like the Civil War, and people act like I was lying about it when I said like, yeah, I don't really agree with the Civil War anymore.
People can do that, especially if you, I don't know, read the wrong responses, right? Like there might be 8 people who understand that opinions change and 2 who don't. And it's so easy to fixate on the wrong 2.
Well, people were asking in my chat, what was my opinion on Civil War? I used to think Civil War was about Southern heritage. Now I think it was just shitty white people being shitty white people.